Good morning, Flosstube. It's Helen D. Today is a Monday. It's Monday, June 17th. I had time today, so I thought I'd film early, but we're having coffee together because that's how my day's been. Today is gorgeous. This weekend was gorgeous, but now we're getting a heat wave. It's starting tomorrow. So today I got right up, went for a walk before it got sticky, came back, showered, got this stuff ready. So I hadn't had coffee yet, so we will have coffee. My husband teases me that if I ever get different coffee mugs, he's like, why do you have extra mugs? You always use the same two. And he's not wrong. I use this one and one with chickens on it. They're from Maple Hill Pottery, I believe. I'll try and remember to link it. She's a Maine potter, and I've had these forever. I had a third one with skunks on it. I still have it, but that's the one that he drinks his tea in, and it got all stained. So that's his now. He's not allowed to use mine. He has to use the skunk. So, Emmy won't steal my coffee. We have made it to school vacation. School ended for my son last Wednesday. Thursday was technically the last day, but it was finals, and then Thursday was makeup finals. So that is done. So now we're trying to kind of get into summer mode and whatever that's gonna look like. Like I said, he has a bunch of stuff going on this summer, but the first 3 weeks, he has 1 week of tennis camp, but that's like half day and it's close. We're kind of home, so that's nice. We'll take advantage when we can get it. We've had graduation party, tennis end of the year party, Father's Day, like all the mid-June stuff. So we got through that. And then this week, like I said, I looked at the calendar and it's blissfully empty. So we will take it. Originally, this would have been the week that we had gone to West Virginia, but my husband's grandmother passed away, so he went down beginning of May, so we're not going down now. So I hadn't scheduled anything for this week, so it is just blissfully quiet. We'll take it. It may not be quiet here. We've got my son's upstairs gaming online, my husband's upstairs working, and we've got this bird over here that I'm sure you'll hear, that I looked it up and I think it's a gray catbird. That thing yells. Our little garden is right here, and we have posts so that he can tie up the tomatoes, and it sits on the top of the posts, and it has a nest in our burning bush, which I didn't know when I went out there hacking away at the burning bush because you couldn't even get on the front steps. I'm chopping away, and then I'm like, oh, there's a nest in there, and then I'm like, oh, there's birds in there. So the bush is not complete. It looks terrible out there right now, but let them be. I looked this morning when I went for my walk, and there was only one bird in it. There had been 4, so I think they're starting to fly. I don't know anything about birds. Do they come back when they start flying, like at night? I don't know. But there was one bird in it this morning, and they've gotten a lot bigger, so I mean, it's due. It's any time. But that thing yells. He sits there and he yells, and Peppy gets in the window and she yells back. It's a whole to-do. So the window's open right now, but I may need to shut it. You can kind of hear him chirping out there. I have been stitching. 2 things before I get into my stuff. Thank you to everyone who noticed that when I did that Boo banner for Penny, I put it together wrong. I laughed because I didn't stitch that. So sometimes when you're finishing something for someone else that you haven't spent any time with, I did not even notice that there was a fence on the top that was supposed to be, you know, beginning of the fence, middle of the fence, end of the fence. All I noticed was that I had to get the letters right so that it spelled boo, which that would have been pretty obvious if I hadn't, but that's what I was focused on, not the fence at all. So I had tacked it on. I just cut the tack, put it back on, tacked it back on. So that is good to go. But thank you for everyone that was like, you might want to switch those if you can. Yep, I did. And I'm still seeing a lot of Bee Farm Sal finishes come through, which is great. I know I got way behind on trying to comment and follow with everyone's when you've tagged me on Instagram, but I have seen them and they're looking really great and people are finishing up. I saw a yellow bee hut painting the other day. I've seen pillow finishes, like all kinds of different things. So they're looking really great. All right, so we will get into FFOs, and I have one FFO that I finished a while ago and I don't think I ever showed you. One new one and one redo. That's what we have this go round. So we'll start with the, I don't think I showed you this because it was summer and I think I stuck it in the frame and then put it away. This is Under the Sea from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and it was a Sal. And I got behind, I finished it last year, so it must have been from 2022. I left the border off. It had a border and it said Under the Sea on the bottom. I left that off, so it's just the guts. And this is a frame from pictureframes.com that I had ordered when they were on sale. They're still having sales, but I've noticed this year they're not doing anything with like a flat rate shipping or a free shipping, so that's a bummer. They might around Black Friday. If I have a bunch ready to go, I might measure them up for them. I did this on Picture This Plus Arial, I believe, and the white didn't really show, so I had to add a little. Did I add backstitch? No. I think those little spikes were supposed to be on there, and I think with those, these fish were supposed to be white, and I had to switch them because it didn't show. The new finish is I finished Patriotic Quaker that I had shown you, and then I just fully finished that just into a pillow. So this is Patriotic Quaker from Primrose Cottage Stitches. I just had a blue. I think this is Union from Lady Dot Chenille. I had two things I was finishing. One I haven't done the chenille on yet, but I picked out the trim, and I always kind of pick from what I have, and what I had for both of them was chenille. So this one I sewed it on and then fluffed it with a toothbrush. And then the redo, this is a little one I had. It's Heart and Hand. I think it's called Land I Love. And I had done this several years ago and had it on like this metal clock thing, and it just wasn't working. It didn't stay on. It had a ruffle on it, and I think this was the last thing I had with a ruffle on it, so I'm ruffle free. So I pulled it apart and I redid it on this little board. I thought that was the same fabric, but it's not. This one's a little brighter. So I had this little charcuterie circle board. So, and I did full on glue it because I knew I wouldn't swap this one out. So actually, full disclosure, I thought, well, I'm gonna redo that and maybe I'll use it for the smalls exchange for Stitch Maine, because I didn't have time to stitch anything. And that's why I'm like, I'll just full on glue it because I'm gonna give it away. No, I like it too much, so I'm gonna keep it. I think it should be perfectly acceptable if there's something that you stitch that your tastes have changed or you're not totally in love with. In this case, I do love it, but I thought, oh, it's so small, I could just stitch it again for myself and then I'd have something. But I'm gonna keep it. Sorry. This is just the scrids of my cording that I just tied a knot to make a little bow and stuck it in with a pin. Also, I had a bad spot on my, I had a bad spot with glue, and that covers it. Boop. So no one will know. Well, now you know. Don't tell anyone. So those are my fully finished things. I have one finish, and it's the one you were expecting. It is 4 Elements from Satsuma Street. I was close. I still had a ways to go, but I was close enough that I thought if I worked on it steady for the 2 weeks, I would get it done, and I did. So that is the whole thing. This is on 14 count Night Sky from Fiber on a Whim. Let me move my coffee. Now I can bring it in. My white stitches are not super great, but I did the best I could. We'll talk about that sun in a minute. So this was a stitch along I think it was once a month, the different 4 elements. This was from last year, and I'm just finishing it. So the sun is not the called for, and I don't have my phone, so I can't show you the called for. It had a face in it, and it was beautiful. That is the benefit of if you're behind on things that are stitch-alongs that lots of people are doing, and then you might see someone else do something and share their change and be like, oh, I'm gonna do that too. So this was from Ingrid Broez, and it's she shared it on the Satsuma Street Stitchers Facebook page. If you go on that page, it's a group you'd have to join, and you search Ingrid, it pops right up. So she did this swirl for the sun. Now, there is a mistake in the chart. In her chart, not in the Satsuma chart. So there's this dark pink circle. That's from the original chart. And then Jody Rice has it with the face, and Ingrid charted it with this swirl. When she charted it, she miscounted, so hers is a little skinnier. I almost had a panic attack, but then I realized I was okay. If you look at her actual picture of her stitching, hers looks exactly the same as mine, but her chart is a little different. So the difference is, right here, there's 5 rows of an orange. On her chart, there are 3, because like I said, it's just a little narrower. If you start on the left and you go this way, you're fine, because you can go this way and then just fill in the extra with that orange. I had happened to start with one of these swirls, and then I was stitching this orange, and I'm like, oh no, that's not lining up. So I had to do some like comparison, and then when I really looked at her picture, she also has 5 here, so she just kind of miscounted on her chart. So start from this side, work over, and then you will have 2 extra stitches all the way around of the orange, but it fits fine, and it looks really cool. So that one is done. I have no idea how I'm gonna finish it. I don't know if I want to try and find a mirror or some kind of circle to put it in, or if I want a round mat and a square frame. So it's probably just gonna hang out for a little while. It had already hung out for a year while I stitched it, so it can hang out for a little while until I decide how I actually want it. I thought I had a piece that would fit in, but because I did mine on the 14 count, it's like 12.5, I think, and the piece I had was 11.5. So, it's not gonna fit. All right, new starts. Whips and new starts, mostly whips. 2 new starts. One of them is a secret stitch, so I can't show you. It is for a swap. So I have 4 things that I can show you. I've been working on 324 from Works by ABC. This one had kind of gotten neglected when I was working on 4 elements. So I gave it some love. So 324, I've seen some more people finish this. There's a hashtag 324Sal. I've seen some more people finish it. This will be a long term. But it doesn't feel overwhelming because it's just little motifs and you get a couple done and you're like, yay me. So I now have this entire bottom row to the end. I finished that last night. This area is brown and it's not my favorite, but it looks great when it's all done. So this is the halfway because I had my Q-snap over there. So I've now done this row to the end and 2 up here. So I'm gonna fill in this section and then I will move the Q-snap up. I will probably, honestly, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm over here, I will probably move it up to this area because these are really not my colors, but these are. So I might try and get kind of these out of the way and then move on to the stuff that I'll enjoy a little more. I've seen a few people too that are doing it not with the called for, just with whatever they're working on, right? If you're working on a project, they're taking their extra scraps and doing some motifs, and that looks really cool. And it's kind of a progression of what you've been stitching. So that's a really cool idea. I did work on Tiny Modernist Forest Friends. I believe this is still available on her Patreon through the month of June, and then it will be taken down. It will be released, I think she said next year. So that's the whole thing. I didn't get that much done on this. I was working on the big one, and then this was in the car. I'm up here. This one I'm stitching on, 324 is on antique white, 32 count. I'm using 2 strands because I like a dense coverage. This one is on Picture This Plus Oaken because I needed the white to pop. And I did use the 5200. I don't know if that's what's called for. I don't know, but that's what I used. And here's where it is. So I finished, this one I have to fill the white in. You know, I have one more color up here. And then I kind of just was filling in. I know we've been said that we've been watching all the Marvel movies and shows. We were watching Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness. That one was weird. And then we watched Moon Knight, also weird, but different. That one was weird but different because it's like Egyptian gods. So that was interesting. So I plugged away on this one. I couldn't do the dark one. I have another one on dark fabric coming. The boys don't like the big light on because it bothers them. So I just have my hot light. So I work on something not on dark fabric, which is good because then they get some love too. The next one, when I finished 4 Elements, I was like, it felt really good to cross that whip off. And I was looking at my whip list. I'm like, what else what should I work on? So I pulled this one out because I thought, my eyes are kind of used to stitching on dark right now. Let's keep going. This one I might have to just take one snap off. There. So this is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. Mine looks a little different because they had 2 versions. That mine has snowflakes here and Santa and the reindeer up here. So I started this. This is my Christmas start. I might have started at Christmas Eve. And then it got a little love, and then I started a New Year's Day start. So it only got a little love, and then I put it away. That was kind of a bummer. So I had Is Coming to Town with the snowflakes. That's what I had done. I'm stitching this on 14 count Mystic from Picture This Plus. I gotta move my needle minder. And that's where I'm at. So I got the Santa Claus and the little Santa up top, and now I'm working on Santa. And then there's that town down below. I don't know how long I'm going to work on this. I may just get Santa done and decide I'm going to set that aside and finish it later. I may keep going. We'll find out together. It's been really fun to work on. I love the colors. It's all DMC. But it's got those bright, like the pinky reds. I mean, this one's straight pink, but then this is 3031 or something. So it's really cool. So this list, that's a beast to fill in. And then that's gonna go all the way under his little town. So that's plugging away. I want to start 1 or 2 Christmas in July things, so I thought it might be nice if I worked on my current Christmas whip. So I did. 3831 is that other red, that pinky red. And then yesterday I had a new start. I was doing so good with my whips. I'd been wanting to start this, and I thought, I'm just going to do it. Why not? This is another one that will be a long term. It's basically full coverage. I already squished the cover sheet. A lot of these are PDFs, so that's why they're kind of just printed on whatever's. All right, here, I'll just show you this first. Isn't that impressive? This is my start. It's 28 count antique white. All DMC. Looks really good, I know. But the picture looks really nice. This is called Atlantic Shores, and it's by Pigeon Coop Designs. So Max of Pigeon Coop is doing like a series, he calls them eco regions, and this is my region. So I started down here, bottom left, and I just got a row. I'm all the way to the end. It will fit on the 28 count in an 8x10 frame. Thank you. Like, that just makes it so much easier. So it's mostly full coverage, and then up here at the top, this is not, right? That's just sky. There's my loud bird. Ooh, he's got something in his mouth, so he's still feeding someone. There are some fractional stitches around these waves, just a heads up, which is why I chose to stitch it on the Lugana versus an Aida. Normally a piece like this I would stitch on Aida, but I thought with those fractionals, I gotta tighten this side up. So there it is. It's got beautiful colors. I put it in my bag that I got at the Library Stitchers from the Bougie Stitchers. Nancy, I think it was Nancy. I'm gonna feel bad if I got that wrong. Because the colors were perfect. So here's, they're really pretty. So I'll just work on that, plug away, until that one's done. So that's kind of my whips and what I've been working on. Purchases and some Stitchy kindness. I did buy the Primrose Cottage Sip and Stitch box, but I can't show it quite yet. They kind of asked people to give it like a week and a half before they show what's in it, so that anyone who got it from a distance gets theirs and gets like the surprise of opening it before they see what's in it. So I did get that. I will either shoot a little video all on its own, showing what's in that, or I'll just include it in my next regular. We'll see how the week's going. Tasha sent me, she reached out and she said she had some Lugana that she was done with, and could she send it? Like, she's not going to use it. So she sent me that along with a whole bunch of charts. So that was like a Christmas morning box. And one of the things she sent me, I really want to start this year. She sent me Nora Corbett's Holly, which I did not have. And she had the beads in the Kreinik and the floss. And she had it all in there. Look at these colors. These are beautiful. I was looking to see if that was that same pinky, but it's not. So those colors are gorgeous. So I'm hoping to start that. I don't think this would be a Christmas in July. I think it would be an actual December. And she sent some more, which I pulled some of her charts for extra giveaways today. So thank you, Tasha. And then Barbie of Pedal Pusher had some new charts come out. She sent them so they'd be new releases for StitchCon, but I believe they're now just getting 2 shops. Like, these will be fully available to everyone, including the one I was talking about last time that I called the wrong thing. It is actually Nibblers. There's the whole thing with the little board, and it's the Remy board, when I couldn't remember that name either. How cute are they? So she sent me a copy of this one, and she sent me the board. So here's the, just put it in a baggie. So the Remy board, super cute. I have this kitted up. It uses the Country French Cafe Mocha, which is the one I never get right. I had a piece. I think this is going to be my Stitch Maine start this weekend. And then her other new release, though this would also be very appropriate for Stitch Maine, is Coastal Fairy Village. And these are all TMC, both of them. And this one has like those pretty purples and the purple blues. So Coastal Fairy Village. And she sent me a copy for me and a copy for you guys. So those are extra giveaways as well. And then the other thing I got, which I had mentioned last video, and I think they were all sold out. I had ordered the bag of bits from Lady Dot Creates, and I'm gonna show you what's in the bits. She doesn't have them often. I don't think she's had one this is like the first one I've gotten in like 6, 8 months, maybe a year. I will try to link below the link to the actual listing because ages ago, I favorited it on Etsy. So now when it comes in stock, I get a notice that it's in stock. So that's kind of the easiest way to know when she has these. Because they're amazing. So, bag of bits. What these are is scraps. Like when she's measuring out and she has extra, they get thrown in a pile. And then when her pile gets too big, she scoops them up into a bag of bits. They were $9.50 each, plus shipping. I think her regular trims they're $6 a bag, but I think they're either 2 yards or 3 yards, depending on which one they are. This is such a value. The only downside, you don't always know what color it is. So if there's something that's like, oh my gosh, that's perfect, you don't actually know what it is. To get more of it, you may not be able to get more of it because some of these are like misdyes or something she did for a specific designer that she had some remnants of. So, bag of bits. We'll just pull one and open it. So hold on. These were actually really convenient because clearly she had her stuff like, there's the rickrack, there's the pom-poms, there's the chenille. Sometimes they've all been kind of mixed up. So this one, she had this little pack, which clearly was like a special finishing pack for someone specific. It has some charms and everything in there. This limited edition ribbon, which probably went in something. It's like kind of grungy pink. She now has, I had to move that sticker because it was sticking. She now has this tinsel, which is a little thicker. I've used some tinsel before, but it's been thinner. This bag had the silver and the other bag had red, so that's available on her website. So, I have a wad of chenille. Not my favorite, but I'll use it. And some of these, like this color, I don't know what this is, but it's really cool. This is like a white, but it's a little pinky. So some of these are kind of misdyes, which I love because then you have different shades of something and it matches. Here is the wad of pom-poms. These are my favorite. So all these fun colors. And a wad of rickrack. And like I said, this is way more than 3 yards, right? There's probably 100 yards of different trims here. Absolutely worth it. I will get them every time. Even though I have enough trim to last me a lifetime, every time, I will grab them. Like, such a deal. And I love having all the colors. So I'll put that link below. If it will work, just go in and heart it, right? Favorite it, so that way, if it's something you're interested in, the next time it comes up, you should get a notice saying it's in stock, and then you can purchase. There's a limit of 2 bags. I get 2 bags every time. Oh, I put all that trim on my notes. That was it. So I have a stack of giveaways to go through. Plans first. I never know. I am going to the Stitch Maine retreat this weekend. I think I am going to start nibblers. I'm thinking a couple of different pieces for Christmas in July, although it may only be one. I think there's 2 I'd really like to start, so we'll work on those. And then I'm thinking I might do a mid-year whip braid. I don't usually bother because I only have, I don't know, 10 to 15 whips. But I've actually made some progress on them this year and finished a few, so I may do that. We'll see. That's what's coming. And then possibly that sip and stitch. Like I said, it will either be its own thing or I'll tie it in with everything else. All right, so giveaways. We had 3 last calls. And these last call charts happen to be ones that were passed on. People had passed on some stash. So then we have 3 of the Little Sheep Virtues. This is Gathering Jewels. Santa Rides, the reprint copy. Thread.Needle.Scissors. And Santa and Friends is Sassy Cove. Not new yet. The 2 that I had from Carla at Cobweb Corner, she's having some great sales, by the way. She's been trying to kind of go through and clean out some inventory. So she's been doing where she'll put like almost all the charts from one designer on a hefty sale. It's probably already passed, but I know she just had Rosewood Manor for 30% off. So kind of stuff like that. So check those out just for a little enabling for you. So this one, Goodness and Mercy. This is from Sweet Wing Studio. This is going to Ethel Wedan, W-E-D-A-N. And then we had a $10 gift card to Cobweb Corner, and that is Renea Yarolim, Y-A-R-O-L-I-M. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. And I've been listing names below because that way it's just easier when I completely get them wrong. So for new giveaways, you have to be 18. I always appreciate it if you're a subscriber. Sometimes when I'm on analytics, if I'm looking, like, it surprises me how many people watch that aren't a subscriber. And I'm sure it's not just my video, right? To everyone. Personally, I like to know when people have new stuff out because that's what I watch. I don't really watch regular TV except all my Marvel shows. Carla would appreciate it if you're a subscriber to her channel. I always list her as well. And please don't use giveaway or win or any of those words. That's it. And just use the numerical number of the one you're interested in. And we have some extras today. So number 1 will be another $10 gift card to Cobweb Corner. And if you're overseas, she does have some PDFs on her site. So that's something that, because overseas shipping is crazy, but you could do some PDFs. Number 2, Wisteria House from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. How pretty is that purple house? Hibiscus, I believe. It uses hibiscus. No, that's pink. Sugar plum. Orla's Iris. That's a pretty one. I have that. That's a beautiful house. So number 2, Wisteria House. 3 and 4 are from Barbie at Pedal Pusher. So number 3 is Nibblers. Number 4, Coastal Fairy Village. And then a couple of the charts that were sent in by Tasha. Number 5, there are 3, it's a set of 3 of the Glitter Village. It's numbers 2, 3, and 4. These are by Country Cottage. So it will be all 3 of these is number 4. And then number 5, that's number 5. Nibblers is 3. Coastal Fairy Village is 4. Glitter Village is 5. Number 6 is Sweet Pea from Nora Corbett. I already have this. She's beautiful. She calls for DMC, 2 Krynics, 3 packs of beads, so not that many, and 1 Karen Water Lilies. So number 6, Sweet Pea. I think that's it. Like I said, the Stitch Maine retreat is this weekend. That's a little one-day get-together we have up in Hollowell. I think this is her 3rd year. I think. Penny will have to remind me. I don't think it's our 4th year. I think it's only our 3rd. We have a great time. I think there's 76 people total. We do lunch there. We'll have a good time. I didn't have a small for the exchange because I'm keeping this one for myself. I need to finalize any kind of Christmas in July plans that I'm looking to do and just keep plugging away. And like I said, I might do that whip parade. I probably will. Probably next week. That's it. And get yelled at by birds. So I hope you guys are having a good middle of June and enjoying summer break. If you're already on, I know the majority of people are. There's a few schools in New England, even here in Maine, that aren't quite done yet. because of snow days and stuff. But this week will be the last week. And they might get out early because of heat wave. Not all the schools up here are air conditioned. Because any of the older schools, you didn't really need it. You do now, but you didn't when they were built. I know last year we had a heat wave. I don't know if it was an official heat wave, but we had a hot spell at the end of the school year, and I felt so bad for my son. I'm like, oh, he's in that school all day. And I go to pick him up, and he comes out wearing his sweatshirt. And I'm like, what are you? I'm like dying, right? And he's like, oh, it's air conditioned. Whoa, fancy you. My schools were never air conditioned. Our high school is newer, so that one is, so I don't worry about him as much now. But, all right, I will stop babbling, pick up my bits, and talk to you guys later. Bye.